Welcome, you guys. It's really nice to have you join me here for this 20-minute full body stretching for beginners. So this is for anyone who would like a nice stretch, a full body release of tension. I'm going to start in child's pose, so just bringing the big toes together, the knees out wide, starting to sit the pelvis toward the heels. It doesn't matter if the pelvis doesn't come all the way back. You're just lengthening the arms out long without locking through the elbows, and just let the forehead come down onto the mat or onto the blanket. You don't need any equipment today for our yoga practice, so if you've got a comfy blanket, then that's awesome, or mat. Taking some deep breaths here. So as you inhale in, feeling the belly expanding, and as you exhale out, allowing the pelvis to become a little heavier. Then on your next inhale, just starting to gaze up towards the hands, walking the hands back up, and we're coming to a tabletop position. So you have the knees in line with the hips, you've got the tops of the feet connected to the mat, and then you're just stepping the right toes back. So pressing that right heel all the way back to the back of your mat, finding length through the back of the neck, so you're gazing slightly forward of the hands, and a soft engagement of the core, just finding that beautiful stretch here. And then we're starting to lift the leg and bring it across the mat. So bring it over to that left side of the mat. You're pressing that heel all the way back, finding that long line here. Maybe gazing over the left shoulder as you bump the hips right and coming back through center and switching sides. And coming back through center, maybe just rocking from side to side as much as you like here, finding an awesome stretch. Beautiful. And then we're stepping that leg all the way through, coming to kind of a lunge position here. And we want to just start to take a moment here to arrive into this shape. You're just starting to press the hips forward. The hips are nice and square to the front of your mat. And you can either be up quite high here, so you can bring the hands to the top of the leg and just kind of press forward, using the hips to press forward to the top of the mat. Or you can start to bring the left hand down and start to use the right hand to gently press into the inside of that right knee and kind of open the hip out. So keeping those hips nice and square. And then inhale, we're coming back through center. Coming all the way down onto your forearms here, or you can stay up high. So working with whatever your body wants to do today. You can let the head go, allowing the head and neck to relax down. You can be up high on the palms or the fingertips, or you can be on the forearms, and just letting everything sink deeply here as you find that deeper stretch into the hips. We're going to come all the way up when you're ready, taking your time to frame the front foot. And then we're going to start to lift the toes and start to find that length through the back, pressing the hips back, starting to allow everything to soften down so the head can release down onto the top of the leg or in that direction, pressing the hips back, relaxing the elbows, relaxing everything down. Inhale, starting to make your way back up. Slowly starting to shift the hips forward, and we are starting to gently allow the shin to cross the body. So crossing the shin across the mat. The further back the foot is towards the other leg, the less of a stretch, and you can slide that back leg long behind you as much as you like. You can start to allow the hands to walk forward, maybe coming down onto forearms. You might stay high here, or you might come all the way down, allowing the forehead to come down onto the mat as you exhale out, letting the belly soften down toward the top of the leg. Hips are nice and square here, just taking a few cycles of breath in through the nose, and as you exhale out, letting everything melt down. Sending your breath to any areas of tension, using the exhale to soften it out a little bit more with each breath. Then taking your time when you're ready to slowly walk the hands back up, and then we're going to start to press into the palms, releasing the right leg and coming back to tabletop, stepping the toes back so the right toes are tucked under. You're pressing the heel back, finding that length again, maybe a little rock from side to side through the hips, and then coming back to your tabletop position, starting to circle the hips as the pelvis is circling, letting the head and neck go, just moving in one direction here as you start to bring the pelvis all the way around on an inhale, and as you exhale, sitting back towards the heels. Inhaling deeply, exhaling fully, calming and soothing the nervous system, maybe starting to bump the hips from side to side through center. So coming through center and then bumping the hips, gazing over the opposite shoulder. Awesome. Then we're going to come back through center. You're just going to start to step the left toes back this time. Tucking the toes, pressing the heel back, finding that beautiful length here through the back of the leg. Pressing that heel back, shoulders are away from the ears, not locking through the elbows. Deep breath in, full breath out. Awesome. And then lifting the leg and crossing it across. So you're bringing those tucked toes over to the right side of your mat. Keeping the hips nice and square, pressing back, gazing over the right shoulder if you like here, and then switching to the other side as you kind of find that bit of movement through the hips, through the sideways, anything at all that feels good, really working into what feels awesome for you. And then bringing the leg all the way back through center toward the heart center. We're just starting to place the foot forward into that lunge, that low lunge position. So coming here, taking your time to arrive, you can bring the hands onto the top of the leg, starting to press the hips forward. Inhale as you lengthen the spine up. Exhale as you soften forward. Beautiful work. Make sure that knee doesn't come forward of the toes. Keeping length up into the spine. Shoulders relaxed. You can stay up here, or you can start to bring the hands down. Maybe walking the foot out a little bit and taking the left hand to the inside of the left knee and pressing open. Finding that openness through the hip here. Or you might come down onto forearms. Lowering down for a deeper stretch, just letting the belly relax, allowing the head and neck to go. Finding your breath here, inhaling deeply and letting go, exhaling fully. Sending the breath to any areas of tension. We're melting it away today. You're going to feel amazing after. This is such a great practice to do at any time of the day. You can do this every day if you want to. If it feels good, it really does release a lot of tension, a lot of stress, makes you feel amazing. And then taking your time, we're going to come back up here. And we're just going to start to take a moment to arrive into that low lunge. So you're pressing the hips forward and then you're lifting the toes towards the face and starting to press the hips back. So you can frame the foot with your hands. Or again, you can actually be up higher and have the hands on the top of the leg, just making sure you're not putting the hands on the knee. Just starting to find that length. You can use some blocks too on either side of the leg here, just to lift it up a little bit, or some books if you want to, just to find a little more lift here. And then when you're ready, starting to press the hips forward, coming back to that low lunge, and then we're walking the foot across. So we're crossing the shin across the mat like we did on the other side, and bringing that foot, the left foot, back as close as you want to toward the pelvis for less of a stretch, or you can kind of make the shin more parallel for a deeper stretch. You're starting to slide the back leg long behind you. You can stay up high here, or maybe come down onto the forearms, or even all the way down here, allowing the forehead to come down and allowing the arms to soften down into the blanket or the mat, just letting everything go, finding your breath, inhaling deeply in and sending that exhale to melt away any tension, any tightness, any restriction. Almost imagining that your body is like ice and it starts to melt, turning into water and eventually into vapor. Then when you're ready, just starting to walk the hands up, soft gaze forward, tucking the back toes under, And you're starting to come back to your tabletop position. It's taking any movement here that feels good. It might be a little kind of bump of the hips from side to side. Any kind of little movement into the pelvis. And then we're coming back to that tabletop position and coming to cat-cow. So lifting the gaze, tailbone comes up, and then rounding the spine, chin to chest, tucking the tailbone under. Inhale. As you come up, gaze up, tailbone up. Exhale, rounding the spine, bringing the chin to chest. Inhale, coming up, open heart. Exhale, rounding the spine, chin to chest, finding that awesome movement of the spine. You can keep this going in your own time, and even kind of just do any other little movements here that feel good. Beautiful work. When you're ready, we're going to come down to take a seat. Finding a bit of length up into the spine. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, coming into a butterfly shape, letting the knees come out wide. You might gently relax the hands onto the legs, the ankles, or the feet. Finding that nice length here. The further away the feet are from the body, the less of a stretch. So you can always slide the feet forward if you want a slightly less intense stretch, or you can bring the feet back closer to you for something a little bit more deeper into this. You can also use some little pillows or blankets to the outside of the knees for a bit of support here. Finding that length, sitting up tall, maybe moving through the head and neck. Maybe rolling the shoulders, letting the elbows be heavy, and then just starting to walk the hands forward when you're ready. We're starting to inhale and then exhale, letting the chin drop down towards the chest. Inhale, lengthening up, looking forward. Exhale, releasing, hips soften down. Inhale, gaze is up. Exhale, hinging further forward at the hips as you release down. You can do this as many times as you like, this little flow. So inhale as you gaze forward, exhale as you release down. We're only hinging at the hips here, so seeing if you can keep as much length into the spine as possible here, so not rounding so much into the back. Although once you get down into a depth that you feel really good and you feel to stay, you might just allow that bit of rounding into the upper back and just start to let the head hang heavy, allow the arms to relax down, maybe just staying here and finding that beautiful openness of the hips, that release, those deeper breaths, and taking your time. Starting to come back up. Let's butterfly the legs. So just lifting and lowering the legs, creating a bit of movement here, and then just bringing the feet out in front of you. We're going to bring the hands behind you, so fingertips are facing forward. You can be on the fingertips or on the palms. You want to have the feet about hip width or wider apart. We're just starting to rock the knees from side to side. Little windshield wiper of the knees. You might just twist here into the waist as well. Keeping the shoulders kind of quite still though, and just letting the head go in the opposite direction to what the legs are going, finding that beautiful twist. Inhale through center, exhale, twisting. Awesome, flowing freely, so good. And then reaching the legs long. Staying here. Now you might want to place something underneath the knees if you have any kind of niggly knees, or if it doesn't feel comfortable to have your legs extended. We're just going to find a few circles into the feet and just moving through the toes, wiggling the toes, maybe moving through the head and the shoulders, just giving a bit of movement here. And then inhale as you bring the arms up, exhale as you hinge forward at the hips, keeping length through the spine, lowering down, just letting the arms soften to either side of the legs, letting the belly relax toward the top of the legs, breathing in, belly expanding, exhale, exhale, exhale as everything starts to soften down, melting down, allowing the time and the breath to melt a little bit more. So it's not so much you don't want to be forcing into these shapes. It's all about an invitation to the body to find that calm, to find that the nervous system becomes that much calmer, and so then the body will naturally start to release tension. Taking your time to come back up. We're going to come all the way over onto the knees. You can come down onto your belly here, just lengthening the legs long behind you. Bringing the arms out into kind of a cactus shape. So your elbows are just slightly lower than the shoulders, and you've got the forearms connected to the mat, spreading wide through the fingers. You've got your head over to look over toward the left side, and you're just pressing into that left hand, and you can just start to step the left leg up and over, keeping the right arm in that cactus shape. You're just finding a nice stretch here through the front side of the right shoulder and the right side of that chest. So if it's too much to have the leg coming up and over, you can always have the legs just straight behind you, and you can just stay there. So really you're just working into what feels good. This is amazing for the shoulders and the front side of the chest as well. Taking your time, you can bring that leg back over if it was, if you did have it in that rainbow, over to the other side. So you can just lengthen the legs long behind you. And then we can come over to the other side. So just lifting the head and lowering it back down so you're looking towards that right side, coming onto the left side of the head. Just have a little shuffle here, finding what feels good. A little move through the pelvis, through the legs, and we're doing the same on this side. So you might step that right foot up and over, touching the toes down. Keeping the left arm down on the mat, that forearm's down. You can use your fingertips, right fingertips, to kind of press into the mat, to lift up and over. Breathing deeply here, finding your breath, sending that exhalation to melt tension through the shoulders, through the front side of the chest, the neck. We carry a lot of tension in this area. It's so nice to be able to stretch it out and get rid of it. And then if your leg is over to the other side, you can just extend the leg, bring both legs long. We're going to start to come all the way over onto our back. So taking your time, making any little adjustments here to come onto your back. Bringing the soles of the feet down onto the mat, and we're just starting to hug the left knee. So grabbing hold of the shin or the front side of the knee, hugging that left knee, and you can have the right foot on the mat still, so having a bend into that leg, or if you want a deeper stretch, you can lengthen the right leg long. As you inhale, just using your hands to really squeeze the knee in towards the shoulder. And as you exhale, feeling everything softening, letting it go. The right leg is relaxed. Inhale, squeezing in. Exhale, melting out. Let's switch sides. Inhale as you squeeze that right knee in. Keeping the foot on the mat, that left foot on the mat, or reaching the left foot long, leg long. Squeezing in, inhale. Exhale, melting it out. Inhale, squeezing in. Back of the shoulders are soft into the mat. Exhale, relaxing down. Inhale, squeezing in. Finding that little bit of a stretch there into the hip flexor. And exhale, releasing out. Beautiful. Just grabbing hold of both knees, hugging the knees in towards the chest. Any movement here through the feet that feels good, through the ankles, maybe rocking from side to side with this. Taking those nice deep breaths into the belly as you feel the belly press towards the top of the legs. And exhale, letting it go. You might even sigh it out the mouth. Just releasing and letting go. Big hug to start or end your day. Wherever you are, you deserve it. Maybe you might just let the legs start to fall over to the right side, coming to a little twist here, letting the arms come out wide. Or maybe you might place the right hand on the top of the top leg as you start to find a beautiful release here. Maybe your gaze might be over towards the left side. Just getting comfortable here as you breathe in, feeling the side ribs expanding. And as you breathe out, awesome. And then when you're ready, coming back through center, let's switch sides. So coming over to the other side, bringing the legs to fall down gently to the left. Arms come out wide, palms facing up. Maybe the left hand relaxes onto the top leg, or maybe both arms are just extended out into that T shape. Just letting the shoulders or the arms be a little bit lower than shoulder height. So you're not bringing any tension into the neck. Maybe the head rolls over in the opposite direction to the legs. Amazing. And then when you feel to, taking your time, coming all the way back through center with the legs. You might just extend the legs up towards the sky. Any movement here that feels good. If you've got a block or a little cushion or even a book, you might want to place it underneath the pelvis, so kind of on that flat bony part of just at the base of the tailbone and above the pelvis, letting the legs just soften and sort of feel that softness into the knees. Waterfall pose here. Otherwise you can just place the hands underneath the pelvis is another option too, just for a little tiny lift up. So we're not trying to extend the legs here, we're actually just really leaning into that nice floating sensation, that neutral here of the legs, where you don't really have to feel you're holding on. Staying here for as long as you like, or you might let the legs come down, bringing the soles of the feet together, knees out wide into a butterfly with the legs, finding that length into the back of the neck. Maybe the hands might gently relax onto the belly. Just finding some deeper breaths here as we start to come to the end of the practice. Inhaling in through the belly. Exhale, exhale, exhale as you release all of the tension out, letting everything melt down into the earth. This is a beautiful yoga practice for stress relief. It's great for anxiety, great for increasing flexibility, amazing for beginners. If you want to as well here, you could bring the soles of the feet together, the soles of the feet onto the mat and just start to rock the knees from side to side, finding that little windshield wiper of the legs, maybe the head rolls from side to side. Taking a nice deep breath in and a full breath out. Well done, you guys. You're done. Have the most amazing rest of your day or evening. I can't wait to see you again. Namaste.